Welcome back, coin lovers, history seekers, and collectors watching from around the world. Today's video is dedicated to one of the most widely collected yet often underestimated coins in American numismatic history, the United States Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel. At first glance, the Jefferson nickel may look like a common pocket change coin, something many people have handled without a second thought. But hidden within this long-running series are rare dates, valuable mint marks, dramatic condition differences, and eye-opening auction results that can turn a simple 5-cent piece into a coin worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of thousands of dollars. In today's deep dive, we are going to explore Jefferson nickels struck at different mints, preserved in different conditions, and traded in today's action-packed collector market for serious money. Whether you are a beginner just starting your coin collecting journey or an experienced numismatist searching for the next hidden gem, this video will open your eyes to the true value of Monticello Jefferson nickels. So let's get started. First up, we are taking a deep and detailed look at the United States Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel dated 1964 with the D mint mark, specifically in circulated condition. While at first glance this may appear to be an ordinary coin, its story, its place in history, and its potential in today's auction market make it far more interesting than most people realize. This is not just about hype or unrealistic values. This is about understanding why collectors still search for this coin, what truly gives it demand, and how even circulated examples can play a role in serious collections. To fully understand the 1964 D. Jefferson nickel, we must step back into the history of the Jefferson nickel series itself. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the long-running Buffalo nickel. The decision to honor Thomas Jefferson was both symbolic and practical, as Jefferson had been one of the most influential founding fathers and the third president of the United States. The obverse design features a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, originally created by sculptor Felix Schlag, while the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home. From its debut, the Jefferson nickel became a workhorse coin, circulating widely across the country and serving as a backbone of everyday commerce for generations of Americans. By the time 1964 arrived, the United States was experiencing significant economic and social change. The early 1960s saw rising silver prices, public hoarding of coins, and growing pressure on the U.S. Mint to produce massive quantities of coinage to meet demand. Although nickels were not made of silver, they were still caught in the wider coin shortage of the era. As a result, 1964 became one of the most heavily produced years in Jefferson nickel history. The Denver Mint alone struck hundreds of millions of nickels bearing the D mint mark, making the 1964 D. Jefferson nickel one of the highest mintage nickels ever produced. Despite this enormous production, the 1964 D. Jefferson nickel holds a unique place in collector circles. It represents the final year before major changes in U.S. coinage production practices took hold, including extended striking of 1964 dated coins into later years to combat shortages. This makes the coin historically significant, even if it is not rare in the traditional sense. For collectors, historical context matters just as much as mintage numbers, and the 1964 D nickel sits at the crossroads of classic and modern American coinage. Now let's take a closer look at the unique features of the 1964 D. Jefferson nickel and what sets it apart visually and physically. On the obverse, we see the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. His hair is tied back, his facial features are sharp yet dignified, and the word liberty appears to the right, followed by the date 1964. Just beneath liberty is the motto, "In God We Trust," placed along the left rim. In circulated condition, these details may show signs of wear, particularly on Jefferson's hair and cheek, but the overall design remains strong enough to be easily identified. The copper-nickel alloy gives the coin a distinctive grayish tone, which can darken over time due to circulation and environmental exposure. Turning to the reverse, we see Monticello, Jefferson's famous estate. The building is depicted with its iconic dome and classical columns, symbolizing Jefferson's architectural genius and intellectual legacy. Above Monticello is the word Monticello, while below it appears 5 cents and United States of America. To the right of Monticello, you will find the small D mint mark, indicating the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. This mint mark is critical for collectors, as it distinguishes the coin from its Philadelphia counterpart, which carries no mint mark. Even in circulated condition, the mint mark is usually visible, making identification relatively easy for beginners and seasoned collectors alike. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it durability and resistance to corrosion. This composition has allowed many 1964 D nickels to survive decades of circulation with readable dates and recognizable features. The diameter, weight, and edge design follow the standard specifications of Jefferson nickels, with a smooth edge and solid feel that many collectors appreciate. One aspect that makes the 1964 D Jefferson nickel especially interesting is strike quality. Because the mint was producing coins at extremely high speed to meet demand, many examples from this year show weak strikes, especially on the steps of Monticello and the hair details on Jefferson's portrait. Collectors carefully examine these areas, as stronger strikes are more desirable and can command higher premiums. Even in circulated condition, a coin that retains sharper details than average can stand out and attract collector interest. When discussing rarity and collector demand, it is important to be honest and realistic. The 1964 D Jefferson nickel is not rare in circulated condition. Millions of examples still exist, and many can be found in rolls, jars, and old collections. However, rarity in numismatics is not always about absolute scarcity. It is often about condition rarity, strike quality, and specific varieties. For circulated examples, demand comes primarily from date and mint mark collectors, historical collectors, and those assembling complete Jefferson nickel albums. Collectors also search for error coins and varieties within the 1964 D issue. These include doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and other mint errors that occurred during high-speed production. While such errors are not common, they do exist and can significantly increase the value of a coin, even if it shows circulation wear. A circulated 1964 D nickel with a visible and authenticated error can sell for many times the value of a normal example. Condition plays a crucial role in determining demand. In circulated grades, where is typically seen on Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and hair, as well as on the steps and dome of Monticello. Coins with lighter wear, stronger details, and fewer distractions such as deep scratches or corrosion are more desirable. Eye appeal matters, even for circulated coins. A naturally toned coin with smooth surfaces often attracts more interest than a harshly cleaned or damaged example. Turning now to current market value. This is where expectations must be managed carefully. In today's auction market, a typical circulated 1964 D Jefferson nickel without errors generally sells for a modest premium over face value. Depending on the level of wear, overall eye appeal, and market conditions, circulated examples often trade in the range of $685,000. Coins in better circulated grades, such as extremely fine or about uncirculated, may reach slightly higher prices, especially if they show above-average strike quality. However, coins with documented errors or unusual characteristics can bring significantly higher prices. Certain error examples have sold for $1 million, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. It is these exceptional cases that drive excitement and keep collectors searching through rolls and collections. While most circulated 1964 D nickels make anyone rich, the possibility of discovering something special continues to fuel collector interest. It is also worth noting that the Jefferson nickel series has seen growing appreciation among collectors in recent years. As more people become interested in completing full date and mint mark sets, demand for classic issues like the 1964 D continues to remain steady. Market value can fluctuate based on collector trends, metal prices, and overall interest in U.S. coinage, making it important for collectors to stay informed. For collectors interested in the 1964 D Jefferson nickel, there are several important tips to keep in mind. Always examine coins carefully under good lighting and magnification. Pay close attention to the steps of Monticello, the mint mark, and the portrait details. Look for unusual features that may indicate an error or variety. Avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning can permanently damage surfaces and reduce collector value. Store coins properly in holders or albums designed for long-term preservation, keeping them away from moisture and extreme temperatures. It is also wise to educate yourself using reputable reference materials and auction records. Understanding what truly adds value will help you avoid overpaying and recognize opportunities when they arise. If you believe you have found an unusual or valuable example, consider professional attribution or grading, especially for error coins. Certification can provide confidence and improve marketability if you choose to sell. As we reach the conclusion of today's deep dive, the 1964 D Monticello Jefferson nickel stands as a reminder that even common coins can have meaningful stories and lasting appeal. While it may not be a rare treasure in circulated condition, it represents an important moment in American minting history and continues to hold a place in collector collections worldwide. Its value is not just measured in dollars, but in history, education, and the excitement of the hunt. For collectors, this coin is a gateway into the broader world of Jefferson nickels and U.S. numismatics. Whether you are a beginner filling an album or an experienced collector searching for varieties and errors, the 1964 D. Jefferson nickel offers something worth appreciating. Keep searching, keep learning, and remember that sometimes the most ordinary coins can lead to extraordinary discoveries. Next up, the United States Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel dated 2014 with the D mint mark, found in circulated condition. At first glance, this coin may seem ordinary, but when we dig deeper into its history, design, production details, and collector market behavior, we begin to understand why even modern nickels can spark interest, discussion, and sometimes surprising value in today's auction market. Whether you are a beginner collector, a seasoned numismatist, or someone curious about the coins you handle daily, this video will help you see the 2014 D. Jefferson nickel in an entirely new way. To truly appreciate the 2014 D. Jefferson nickel, we need to step back and understand the long and rich history behind the Jefferson nickel series itself. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that had been in circulation since 1913. The U.S. Mint chose Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence, to appear on the obverse of the new 5-cent coin. This decision reflected America's desire to honor its founding fathers while also updating coinage designs to be more practical for mass production. The reverse featured Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, symbolizing his legacy as a statesman, architect, and thinker. For decades, this basic design remained largely unchanged, making the Jefferson nickel one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. By the time we reached the year 2014, the Jefferson nickel had already undergone several subtle design updates. In 2004 and 2005, the Mint experimented with the Westward Journey series, celebrating the Lewis and Clark expedition, before returning to a refined Monticello reverse in 2006. The 2014 nickel continues this modernized design approach, featuring a forward-facing portrait of Jefferson based on an original bust by sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon. This updated obverse, introduced in 2006, gives Jefferson a more lifelike and dignified appearance compared to earlier side-profile versions. The reverse still proudly displays Monticello, though with sharper details and modern engraving techniques that improve durability and clarity in circulation. The 2014 D. Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small d mint mark located on the obverse of the coin, just to the right of Jefferson's portrait. The Denver Mint has played a crucial role in producing circulating coinage for the Western United States since its establishment in 1906. In 2014, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels across its facilities to meet everyday commerce needs. These coins were not created with rarity in mind. Instead, they were designed for durability, consistency, and efficient circulation. As a result, most 2014 D nickels entered circulation immediately and experienced wear through daily use. When examining the physical features of the 2014 D. Jefferson nickel, we see a coin composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition has been standard for U.S. nickels since 1866 and gives the coin its familiar silver-gray appearance. The coin weighs 5 grams, measures 21.21 millimeters in diameter, and has a smooth edge with no reading. The obverse displays the word Liberty, written in Jefferson's own handwriting style, along with the date 2014 and the national motto, "In God We Trust." These elements combine historical symbolism with modern design aesthetics. The reverse side of the coin features a detailed depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's iconic plantation home. Above the building appears the word Monticello, while E pluribus unum and 5 cents are placed below. Even on circulated examples, Monticello remains easily recognizable, although fine architectural details may soften with wear. Collectors often examine steps on Monticello closely, as sharp, fully defined steps are a key factor in grading higher-condition nickels. While the famous full steps designation is most associated with earlier Jefferson nickels, it can still influence collector interest in modern issues if exceptionally well preserved. Now let us address the topic that generates the most curiosity: rarity and collector demand. In general terms, the 2014 D. Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is not considered rare. Millions were produced, and countless examples still exist in everyday change. However, rarity in numismatics is not always about mintage numbers alone. Condition, strike quality, and errors play a major role in determining collector value. A heavily circulated 2014 D nickel with visible wear typically holds little premium over face value. That said, collectors actively search for coins that display unusual characteristics, such as strong strikes, clean surfaces, or interesting minting errors. Errors are where modern nickels like the 2014 D can suddenly become exciting. Off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, and other mint errors can significantly increase a coin's value. Even a small doubling in lettering or a visible planchet flaw can turn a common 5-cent coin into a collectible worth many times its face value. Because modern coins are mass-produced at high speed, errors do occur, though they are still relatively scarce compared to normal strikes. Collectors who carefully examine circulated coins sometimes discover hidden treasures that others overlook. When discussing current market value in dollars, it is important to be realistic and transparent. A typical circulated 2014 D Jefferson nickel is generally worth its face value of 5 cents. In some cases, lightly circulated examples may sell for $375,000 in bulk lots, especially if demand rises or supply tightens temporarily. Uncirculated examples pulled from rolls or mint sets may command slightly higher prices, often ranging from $657,000 depending on condition and grading. Coins graded by professional services with high mint state scores can bring higher premiums, though these are usually uncirculated, circulated. Error coins are a different story entirely. A genuine 2014 D Jefferson nickel with a confirmed mint error can sell for anywhere from several dollars to well over $1 million, depending on the type and severity of the error. Exceptional or dramatic errors may even exceed that range at auction. This is why many collectors continue to check modern change carefully, knowing that value sometimes hides in the smallest details. For collectors interested in this coin, patience and knowledge are key. One of the best tips is to examine coins under good lighting with a magnifying glass or loupe. Look closely at lettering, numbers, and design elements for doubling or irregularities. Pay attention to the surface quality and overall strike. Even in circulated condition, some coins retain stronger details than others. Another helpful approach is to learn basic coin grading standards so you can accurately assess wear and preservation. Avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning can reduce collector value significantly, even for modern issues. It is also wise to store coins properly. Even circulated coins benefit from being kept in protective holders once removed from circulation. Exposure to moisture, oils, and friction can cause long-term damage. Collectors who save modern nickels often do so with the understanding that while most may never be worth much, a few exceptional examples could become desirable in the future, especially as time passes and surviving quantities decrease. As we reach the conclusion of today's video, the 2014 D Monticello Jefferson nickel stands as a reminder that every coin has a story, even those we consider ordinary. While this coin is rare in circulated condition and usually holds modest value, it represents a continuation of a historic American series that spans generations. Its true worth lies not only in dollars, but in its connection to American history, everyday commerce, and the thrill of collecting. For some, it is simply pocket change. For others, it is a gateway into the world of numismatics, where learning, discovery, and patience can turn even the smallest coin into a meaningful treasure. If you enjoyed this detailed breakdown and want more deep dive videos on valuable and historic coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next find be a hidden gem.